There is. You are appreciated, like always. I decided to go live. Why not? Salute to you as well. Ooh, I get the muscle, the fire, the crown. That the coffee? Or the shot glass? Or at least a little bit of whiskey in the glass. Along with some water guns? Thank you. I don't really have a subject or a topic. We can create one as we go, but I'm going to thank you for all that. I'm born in the 6th. Okay. We are in Midtown Manhattan. Let me show you Midtown Manhattan. That's what I'm on now. And I have to tell you, I feel great. I had all three. That's my favorite time of the year. I love this weather. Yo, this weather is so nice. It's 73 degrees. You can go shorts. You can go long pants. It's best to go long pants. You know, you're already in the end of September. Knock it off with the shorts. Come on. But you could do that if you were like a tourist or something like that. You don't care what anyone thinks. But short sleeve, long sleeve, you throw a sweater over your back, you know, or in your bag, and you're good to go. Such a great day. I mean, just 3 months ago, this would have been considered a very hot day. No, 73 is always still beautiful. Radio City Music Hall. Peace to everyone jumping in. Because, you know, most people, they jump in, they jump out. Hit the like button while you do that. Like a double dutch. Got to find the right time to jump in and jump out. But while you're there, take off that serious face and give me a smile. And our version of the smile in this double dutch of YouTube is the like button. You need to visit New York City. Yeah, you definitely do. New York is a cool city. It's a huge city, but it's also very, very small. You're in and out of Harlem in 15 minutes. You can drive all through Manhattan in 2 hours. You can go up and down every single street in New York City in, let's say, a 4-hour period if no one is around, like in the pandemic. Up and down every single street. You can do it in, all right, let's say 6 hours. Whoa, I'm seeing this. Dude, I have not seen yet. Look at that. And I don't know if you can see that, but it says Jam Rock Jerk with the straw on the top of the cart. That looks cool. I love jerk chicken too if it's done right. Don't cook my chicken. Don't barbecue my chicken and then throw jerk sauce on it. No, 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 no. That's not jerk chicken. That's BS. That's look at all these trucks lined up. I hope you caught that. This is supposed to be the busiest part of the city, by the way. Where normally, when I was a kid coming up, each block would take nothing less than 5 to 7 minutes to get through every block. It was like that. All the streets were just rammed with people. And it's 2:38. We're talking about an insane amount of people. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. Look at this guy. Yo! Nowadays, so many hundreds of thousands of people have left that you can just walk by. It feels like Montreal or something like that, a smaller city. It feels like, what's this like? I mean, this is still a little more people than you would find in, let's say, Buffalo. Buffalo is only popping like this around, let's say, noon in Buffalo. Like around lunchtime, everybody they get out the offices and they hit all the food trucks and all the delis and all that stuff for lunch. But let me just tell you, this place has changed drastically. And I've been noticing it for the last 7 years, that New York has changed. There's no reason why we should be here where we are right now. This should take 20 minutes to get here on this avenue. But it doesn't anymore. New York is how do I say? New York is like a ghost town. But let me just tell you. You see, you just had to be here. And it was all gradually happening, where New York just became empty. And this is well before the pandemic. See, you stop and you let people cross in New York. They don't give you a wave. They don't even give you a nod. You're not going to get a smile. They just whatever. And you're like, hey, I just broke for you while you were jaywalking. No one cares. Interesting. Look, you never could get down this road like this. I'm only driving like this because I was trying to clear the sidewalk. So I knew I had to try to get close to these cars, opposed to being directly behind this blue one. And I did clear the crosswalk, by the way. Come on, come on. This road will lead us straight to the 59th Street Bridge, which is now called the Ed Koch Bridge. And if you hear the car squeaking, it's because of that hurricane. I can't remember the name of it. Matter of fact, I don't even think I know the name of this one. But I know that it hit Puerto Rico, it hit Bermuda, and it also hit Florida, Bermuda. And we got some crazy amount of rain last night and the night before. Well, yeah, last night and the night before. So it's what's it called? So my car always sounds squeaky for like a day or two, and then it goes away into another huge storm like that. And I put like 150 miles that day in the highway with that. It was insane. I was in that stream. You talked about the ghost towns and the empty buildings. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm always talking about that. I'm always talking about that. I have a friend of mine who lives on. Well, he's not a friend. He's someone I do business with. He's one of my clients, and he went from 87th Street and Broadway to 87th Street and York. He was renovating his whole entire house. So, and I've been in his house. It's absolutely amazing. Beautiful, beautiful home. But he wound up spending probably 300 grand just to redo the whole apartment. And it took a year. And a lot of permits and a lot of time. But he's very happy with the results. And he says to me that when he jogged, he's a jogger. He used to be my size. Well, not as big as me, but he was like over 230 pounds. And he's now like about $160. He looks great. He jogs every day. So this guy says to me, I say to him, how do you like living across on the west side? And he says, it's funny. He says, I like it and I don't like it. He says, but it's just quieter. And then I say to him, well, what if I told you that the Upper East Side is empty and no one is really here, and this part of the Upper East Side that you're in is all the way. I said it. He says, yo, man. He says, please. He says, I'm so thankful that you said what you just said, because I've been thinking that since I've been here. He says, I go jogging every day. And he's like, some of the same windows have the same light. Every day there's like these 3 houses when I'm jogging by. And it's like it never changes. And I see nobody. He says, my neighbors, he says, I've only seen the same he said, I've seen the same exact neighbors leave the building that I'm in. And he's like, I know the building is packed, but I don't see anyone. He says, I've only seen, the only neighbors he's seen in the building with like, I don't know, 300 apartments. 300 apartments. This guy has only seen the same exact people every time. And when he's jogging, he sees the same lamp on and the shade in a certain way, and it's never changed. And you know, when you're jogging, you're like meditating on what you're doing. You're concentrating on each step, one step in front of the other, and you're like zoning into like this really great place. And then he's using the cannabis that I'm giving him to make this jog even better. So he's more open, more aware. And he says to me, he says, "Yo, dude," he's like, this place is empty. He's like, it's like an empty city. He's like, is it COVID? And I was like, I'm sure COVID has something to do with it. I said, but I've noticed for many, many years that the city is getting more emptier every day. And he was just like, wow. You look at a lot of these buildings, and you come by 8 o'clock, you got the same 5 lights on every day. It's just bizarre. New York is such an empty city, and there's tons of this going on. No matter what happens, all you see is building and garbage. You see that truck right there, emptying walls. This is like, I don't know, all cubicles in there or all sheetrock in there, and it's constantly non-stop building in New York. Buildings after buildings after buildings, renovation after renovation. They're taking down floors, putting up new floors. They're building and building and building every inch of this place. So you would just keep saying to yourself, then they must be people. And didn't your friend just get his whole apartment done? And that took a year. So there are people that are doing these things. You know, this is a real reality we're in. Oh, yes, I'm sure. I'm sure that's real. That my friend got his apartment done and it took a year. And there were times when the big garbage truck came and emptied out all his crap. I'm sure. And then they had to stop the street for a minute while they loaded up all the sheetrock out the van. I'm sure. I believe it. Yes, that did happen. Of course. Well, you know what else is happening? The non-stop ruse that there's a lot happening when it really isn't. There's a non-stop push to constantly keep us seeing the stage. You know, I say this all the time. New York is a stage. You go to some of these buildings, they got a doorman downstairs and nobody's in the whole entire building. And that's really just the Upper East Side. You know, right off of Central Park. You walked up and down Central Park, it'll blow your mind how there is not one light on in the whole building and there's a damn doorman outside. Smoking his cigarettes, wiping down the counters, and there's no one inside. Because it's what? It's a stage. So, yes, it's real. Even though we're in a construct, it's real. Is the guy who works in this building with no people in it, in on it? In on what? All he knows is that he's getting paid. He's getting paid to do a job, which is in his mind a glorified security guard, and every once in a while people come in and out, and it's, you know, always the same people, and they're very friendly and no big deal. But as far as the building is concerned, nobody lives in this building. But there's a lot of buildings like that. And he knows tons of other doormen that say the same thing. So no, they're not in on it. No. They don't even know what they're in on. It's just this reality and the way it works. How can I explain it to you? Our human brains cannot even comprehend a pinch of it. If there was a way for us to get a drop of the information of truth, our brains won't even be able to handle that much data. So whatever it is, we don't know. But I will tell you this, it ain't the same. It ain't what you think. These buildings are empty. Because I know what it's like to see people living. I know what it's like to go to a block and everybody in the block is home. And I know what it's like to drive by these huge buildings with 36 floors and only 7 people live in the whole building. I've seen it. where every single blind and every single drapery is all the same, and the drapes never move, and the flower pot stays in the same cracked window all year round. When the flower pot stays in that cracked window for 4 years, what does it mean? I don't know. And how every time I drive down this avenue, I always stop at East 71st Street and look up at that flower pot. Why is the reality the way it is? Why do I always stop every time I'm on this avenue at East 71st Street? And why do I always look up at that window? Why do I always see the window cracked with the flower pot in the window? Sorry about the squeaky car. It'll be gone by tomorrow, hopefully. Let's remember, the car has almost 240,000 miles, so let it squeak. Leave it alone. You sound like a cab driver. But as soon as I get so frustrated with the sound and I'm like really upset, it goes away for months. Or at least until the very next huge rain. And if I'm driving in it. If it rains and I just leave the car alone, then there's no issue. I'm sure it's the sway bar. Oh my goodness. Wow. That was like Kim Kardashian style that just walked by. Whoa. The surgeons are not playing. I would say God is good, but I know the surgeon is better. I love to talk to a few of those doormen about that, though. Yo, I've done that. I've done that. I've gone into these buildings, talked to the doorman. Man, what's going on? How you doing? Yo, every time I drive by here, I never see one window up. No lights on at all. What's up with that? And the guy's like, because nobody lives here. He said, there's people that's here, but a lot of times they don't even use this entrance. They go to the other entrance here. But you know, I stay here, keep everything cool, make everything calm, you know, and it looks good. I've had this conversation. They're not in on it. They're not in on it, but they know and understand that it's their job. They don't understand that they're actually part of some sort of stage. It's very, very simple and not very complex. Am I making it more complex than it is? Of course. Of course I am. But what we're speaking on is just repetitive, like the routine of things. It's all about that routine of things and how it just keeps on happening. It's like a Groundhog Day, but it's not every day. It's just the life that's not changing. And when you think outside of that, then you want more. Even though we all want more, but we also want, and when I say we, I'm speaking about, you know, that small percentage that sees that every time they're driving, they stop at 71st Street and they notice this flower pot. And every time they look up at the flower pot, they start to question whether or not they saw it. And then after the 15th, 20th time, after 10 years go by, after, you know, you start to say to yourself, what else is staged? And I'm not saying that that's the the way it happened, the order that it happened for me. I'm not saying that. It's like you see this Audi right here. You see that line on the side of the Audi that goes from the back to the front or the front to the back. And it doesn't have a straight line. The whole thing is as if someone took their finger and they rubbed their finger across that Audi. And what they decided to do was not make it a straight line. They made it where it wasn't straight. So all the metal that has to be bent in a certain way because it's no straight line on the side. Like this car driving by from the handle, from this one here, look how straight that line is on the side of the doors. All these lines, look at this line here from the door, on both the doors are the same level and straightness. And they like, but no, Audi was like, no, we don't want to do that. We want to have it where the line on the side of the car flows, where no other car company is doing that kind of stuff. So my point is, I noticed that. I didn't read an article about that on the, what's this guy? From Hoovie's Garage. This is not like an article that I read from VinWiki on YouTube. All I'm saying is just that you start to see things that are there, and then you start to wonder about those things and try to understand, find meaning in these things, even if it's just a line on a car that's not straight and it's subtle. So it's a beautiful car, but the side of the car, it has this line going across it, and it's not straight. It's actually like a bit of it's like a whimsicalness to it. And to take metal and shape it that way, it's kind of beautiful. And I like that. So I notice things like that. Someone might say, who has time to think about these things and notice these things? I'm just like you. I spend, hours on my phone as well. I don't watch television, but I am watching, massive amounts of YouTube. So I'm not in a holier than thou rant here about me observing, the obvious and trying to find meaning in it. This is Spanish Harlem, by the way. 106th Street and 3rd Avenue, Spanish Harlem. To the left of us are 2 or 3 Puerto Rican, or there used to be Puerto Rican restaurants there that are pretty good. I haven't been there in years, but like sit down and eat good, not like takeout good. If that makes any sense. In other words, it's better than the Cuchi Frito or the takeout joint. Much more authentic processing of the food. Who knows? Third Avenue should be packed with cars. This place should be packed. And the question is, where did all the people go? What if I was to argue, and I just popped into my head, which is definitely going to be crazy land. I always say thoughts are lies, so maybe I don't say the first thing that pops in my head like that. This is what I was gonna say because it's pretty good. Let me think if I can even get it out properly. And don't forget, this is like this is unrehearsed and needs work. And also remember that I have the 3 gummies in my system, and it's been exactly 2 hours. And I would say that it's an equivalent of 21% or 20, yeah, or 21 milligrams. So it's pretty good. Pretty strong, but in a mellow way. Look, as you can see, so the thought that came to my mind, and I pondered a little bit on it while I was speaking about the gummies, was that maybe you see, I'm just gonna start. Like, don't go with the first thing I say. Let me just like start. Let me just get some of it out. Like just get it out. Let me just play with it verbally, opposed to inside my head on a layer of thought. Because I can think. All people can. We can just think on multi tiers, right? And the thought was that, is the city as empty as I say it is, right? And the city, yes, it is as empty as I say it. It's very, very empty. It's not as packed as it appears, like in different angles. You see, I wish more content creators did live videos. Just salute, man. I appreciate you. Oh man, Kamala 42. If I said that wrong, forgive me. It's only because I got my GED inside of a prison when I was 18 years old. So forgive me for that. So and that I'm working on that little spiel I just gave about the GED. I'm working on that. Everything I said was all true. It's just the delivery of the timing on it I'm working on. So this reality that we're in. I am not going to Harlem. I'm going to the Bronx. This is 125th Street. And everything has changed. They're like renovating this whole space. But one thing that has not changed is this place right here. This place has not changed. Sun's Car Center. You need an upholstery job, you need some work done, a headliner, you come here. This is where everyone used to come to. And he's still keeping his shop. All these years. He's the last of this group of people. He's the last of his kind. This guy right next to me is having a very hard time backing up. I'm confused. I'm like, sir, how much space do you need? Why don't we get out of here? He's confused. As long as he doesn't launch. But, I could use a new car. I'm fully insured. Inside that little space, this guy works on all the car. I mean, like, just, look at this car coming. Woo. I see you, big M-word. I see you. So, this reality that we're in, I had this thought. And I'm not stalling on the thought by showing you everything. I am stalling. I am. But, all right. I'm stalling. See, one would argue this is why you shouldn't be on the THC gummies. So you can keep a damn thought in your head. It's not that I've lost the thought or the THC is stopping me from expressing the thought. The reality of it is THC, I would have never had the thought. Arguably because we are in a place. Yes, we are in the meat suit. So, what is the construct? The construct is what I see versus what you see. Am I in a Hyundai with 230,000 miles? Almost 200. Let me see what I got here. 237,000 miles. Am I in that vehicle? I got the sunroof and the leather. Is that real? There's a guy in front of me truly driving a RAV4. And does he believe it's a RAV4 and not a Lamborghini? And is the guy in the Lamborghini, is he then in a Lamborghini because I see him in it? Or he's in a Lamborghini because he believes himself to be in it? And how does he know that I see him in it? Is it because I pull out my camera and I'm smiling and he's getting fellatio while he's driving? It's hard to get a girl to give you fellatio in a Hyundai versus that damn, what's it called? But let me not drift. And let me say this. Yes, 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 and yes. All those things are real. All those things are happening. So then how could we be in some sort of construct if it's still real? I don't know. You know why? Because the liars you know who they are, and that's the power structure. The liars are the power structure. All right, let's go through the Bronx. The hell with this traffic. We can look at the people. That power structure has lied to you and I so much. That power structure has done everything in its control and in its power to stop us from focusing on anything else. Ever focus on yourself. Never focus on your power and who you are and being true to self. Never that. It's all about lusting after someone else's crap, wishing that you have more of something. The grass is always greener on the other side. You don't trust your parents. You kill children. You kill women. You kill men. You emasculate men. All these agendas going on. Everybody from every angle. Women getting destroyed by this group, and men getting destroyed by that group, and children and little girls and little boys, and so many distractions that this reality is providing for us shows the fucking check, shows their hand. So I'm not signing up for whatever you think normal is, and why do you have to look up at that plant on 71st Street every time? It's a coincidence. F you. I don't buy it. I know that the system, the control structure, the people in charge, they've done everything in their power to distract me. Why is that? I don't know why. I can't take you to the last page of the book. I'm just in the introduction of this thing. Where I should be in the middle of the book of life, in the pursuit of happiness. I'm not in the middle of none of that. But I guess in this reality, in this system, I lowered my window, by the way, so we can hear the sounds of the people. It's very quiet. There we go. That wasn't me. That was somebody behind me. All right. So my is when you jumping in, it's like double dutch. You're in and out, in and out. Make sure you smile. Don't have your face all turned up because the rope almost hit your lip. And the way you smile is by hitting the thumb. All right. And no one even honked. Everybody wants a little bit of that water. But let me tell you what you're going to see in the Bronx that you're not going to see in Manhattan. You're going to see people smiling. So if you're looking at the people, you're going to see a lot of smiles on people's faces. People in the Bronx are happy. That's a fact. I'm not saying there aren't angry ones. I'm backing up because I thought you all might be interested in this. You don't see this every day in New York. You do see it. I saw this a couple of months ago, and I said to myself, I will video. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. I had to lock my car. I have my windows down, my wallet on the seat, and I don't want to be a damn fool. You know what I mean? Look at this. That's not funny. That's not funny. That's not fun. I didn't see that earlier. That's not funny. Because I'm sure if that was there, oh no, no, that's not funny. Stop it, stop it. That's not funny. I'm gonna have to clip this. Look, somebody left off. So when I showed it earlier, oh look at that. That's funny. Yeah, I'm about to hang up and do a short because this is such a good short. Love y'all. We'll talk more about reality later. Bye. When do you think you go in there? I don't know what that means, Wes. Just change the oil when it says and it'll run forever. Exactly. Yeah. Let's stay away from cats like that too. Yeah. What do you think when you see this right here? Is that crazy? You ever stopped and look at it or you just walk fast? Yeah. Yeah, I have to do it short. I love y'all. I mean that. Thank you for tuning in, Big Elvis the Chef over here. I love you. You know this already. Come on. It's embarrassing. How you like the hat? It's my second summer. I'm pretty through this. This is my like more, want to be casual. I could do it like this too. Big Elvis the Chef. I love you, and I'm out. Boom.